So, God, this filter's lovely. Couldn't be asked to put any makeup on. Also couldn't be asked to put a proper top on. So effectively what you are currently witnessing is a lacy bra disguised with a beautiful scarf. It's so hot here today and I'm feeling very like, I feel like energetically quite liberated and expansive and open today. And the idea of actually putting more clothes on just felt really restrictive. So you get what you get. Semi-naked Noelie, filtered as fuck. Welcome. Okay. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Nat. Yay! Welcome. So, also, I'd just like to point out, never has there been a more manifesting generator attire. Like, lacy bra with very patterned scarf with completely contrasting, very, very patterned shorts. Because I just don't give a fuck. I am finding it hard to give more fucks about putting together an outfit that makes sense. Hey Jess! Hey Janet, Kat. Ooh, we've got lots of lovely people joining me. If this is your first time joining me live for one of my random riff and rambles, let me know. You're in for a treat. I've double caffeinated today, so watch out. What do I have to say to you? I'm such a fire constitutional factor. I'm like, hi, and then immediately just go, and I'm in. It's a beautiful thing about being fire constitution, actually, is the ability to just ride the energetic waves and not question whether or not, not question the vibration and the frequency that wants to just flow through me and just be whatever needs to come through, you know, like I'm just the conduit for the energy. I don't try and control which frequencies I let through and which ones I don't. Like when I'm on a live or whatever, I just trust that it's all perfect for the message. So, say hello. Let's chat. I want to speak to you about this concept and the reality that your words are spells. And this kind of falls in line with manifestation and creation of your reality. There's multiple layers and threads that I want to discuss with you around this. And the first is, hey loves, welcome. The first piece that I want to just, like the first thread that wants to come through is this piece around riding the duality of what is, what was, and what will be. We are multidimensional. And at any given moment, we can choose to live into the vibrational reality that we are creating. We can live into the reality of what is and the now and the 3D, like this is what I've already created and I'm going to keep recreating it by speaking it more into existence, by commenting on what is. And we can also do one step further removed, which is to continue to speak the past into existence and recreate from a past vibration. Are you following me so far? I'm sure you are, because we're all witches and wizards. But when I was feeling into this concept before, I realized, as a line 2, right, human design life, I very often retreat into my line 2 in order to, like, I spend a lot of time alone. Well, apart from with my little Sausalito who lives down here. How fucking good do my tattoos look with this filter, by the way? Like, they just look so good. Just self-appreciation moment. I love me. You know, life. If you can't love yourself, who in the hell, how can you love anyone else? Can I get an amen up in here? So thinking about this idea of like the fact that we have access to many timelines in any given moment. And it's really what we choose to perpetuate through our thoughts and our words and our actions. That's what we're going to continue to create. And I have said this so many fucking times, but it bears repeating because this is like such a basis of manifestation and conscious creation of our reality. You've got to be okay with being delusional as fuck. To start with, because from the external viewpoint, from anyone looking at your life in any given moment, I am very aware of where I'm vibrating quite often through the reflection of what other people say to me. And this could be a fire constitution thing, it could be like a line 2 thing, I'm not sure. But it's interesting to me when what people like, how the projections that I receive change as I clean up my internal mirror, as I clean up my internal vibration. What I notice is people start to reflect things back to me like, wow, you seem to be like thriving. You seem to be doing like your business is doing really well. This is happening and this is happening for you. And then there'll be certain things that I'm like, yeah, I know, right? And then there'll be other things where I'm like, oh, really? You perceive that about me? Interesting. And then I get given this choice, whether I go, no, that's not me. Or I say, oh, yes, thank you. I'll receive that projection and I'll amplify it. So this is kind of, in my mind, it's kind of like using the field of projection for my growth, using the field of projection and being, it's like you can choose, right? You can choose whether you receive other people's projections onto you or not. It's entirely up to you. It's all about what we choose to receive. So sometimes people may wish to project things onto me, which that like don't feel good, don't resonate. They're like, ugh, that's like an old story. I don't need that. Thank you very much. And then other times people will reflect something to me and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you're perceiving this about me. Wow, okay, cool. Maybe I'm actually vibrating and radiating at a frequency that is even more elevated than I had given myself credit for, right? So this can look like, let's use something that's quite unemotive for me. So we use like body image, right? Someone might say to me like, wow, you look amazing. Or like, you're obviously going to the gym loads. Or like, yeah, like it's really paying off all the work you're doing. And I'll be like, oh, cool, thanks. And I can receive that because it's something that feels good in my body. So I'm happy to receive that and be like, yum, 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 receive it, nourish myself, yum, 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 I'll take that, thanks very much, amplify it in my vibration, off I go. If somebody projects something that I don't want onto me, then I have the choice of just going, no, that's not for me. So the idea that we have to like never receive a projection, I don't feel that that's necessarily helpful for me. Just, speaking from my personal experience, I don't find that particularly helpful for me. I actually find that other people's projections can be, and I don't mean like, hey, project on me. Like, it's not like an open invitation to just like pour your shit on me. It's more like when people pay me a compliment, or if people perceive something that I can receive as a positive, that amplifies something in me that I'm desiring to continue to create and amplify in my vibration, then why wouldn't I receive that? So that's kind of what I just have to say on that whole like projection field and how we can kind of navigate that and actually, rather than trying to just always push those projections away, if they're going to come, they're going to come and we can't control that, right? So it's really just about navigating which ones we want to receive and amplify and using them if we want them, and just being able to kind of like bat them away. This is not the same as needing someone to tell you how great you look or how well you're doing or how wonderful you are. That's different. That comes from a place of like, I don't feel good enough and I'm craving that acknowledgement. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying when we cultivate from within a clean, like yummy, delicious energy and vibration, when we spend more time cultivating what we are generating and feeling on the inside for ourselves, when we retreat and allow ourselves the time to actually cultivate that for ourselves, and then allow that to be the dominant vibration that we radiate out, we don't even have to try to radiate that out. It just oozes from us, right? So when we allow ourselves to really do that and give ourselves full permission to drop into how we want to feel first before we go about doing anything, you really bring your full self to everything that you do. And the reason I started this live stream with "Your words are spells" is because it's very easy for us. For example, when someone asks us like, "Oh, how are you doing? You know, what's going on? Like, tell me about your life. What are you up to?" Or it's very easy for us to fall into a natural pattern of speaking to what currently is. So I'm not saying lie about your current reality, like, "Oh yeah, I'm a millionaire, didn't you hear?" Like, not saying like be out of alignment or incongruent or just like straight up lie about what is happening for you in your life. But for me, there's a level of how I answer those questions about my life. Because when people ask questions like that, it's really about, I tend to feel like the energy of the intention of their question a lot of the time. And so if someone is asking me because they're actually just waiting for an invitation to share how shit they think their life is or whatever, then I'm quite quick to be like, cool, okay, bye. But when people genuinely ask us about like, how's everything going? You know, it looks like everything's going really well for you. Like, tell me about what's happening in your life. It can be very easy for us to want to either speak into the areas of our life where we're feeling like a little bit stuck or a little bit like, and all we do is we just kind of feed energy into the problem. We feed energy, we feed everything into like the knot, rather than just being really honest with where we are and saying, actually, I feel good. I feel good and I feel excited about the future. I feel excited about what I'm creating. So when people ask you, how's it going? What are you up to? How's your life? How are you feeling? Just because this is not, I'm trying to find my words really carefully here because I want to make sure that my intention for what I say is that I communicate the concepts that I can like feel shifting in my body. In like a clear way. So it's never about lying or covering up something if you're feeling like unwell or uncomfortable about something. But there comes this moment in the self-development journey and the spiritual expansion where you are very aware of the areas in your life where you're still wanting to grow, where maybe there's contraction, where things aren't like how you would want them to be. But you're also spending more of your time and your energy focusing on what you're creating and who you are being in this moment in order to amplify the vibration of what you're creating and become a magnet for it. That even though there might be areas of your life where you feel this dissonance and this contraction, you're so tuned in and tapped into what you're creating and who you're being in this moment that those things don't really have your focus. They don't have the energetic pull. You don't even want to speak about them really. Is this landing for you? Are you getting what I'm saying? Feel free to ask questions if you want clarification because, you know, my sacral responds. So if there's something you're like, oh, I'm not sure how to understand this piece, like ask me a question and then I can clarify. That's how my sacral authority works. But yeah, it's very interesting to me how I've noticed that my conversations, like I genuinely just don't really have the energy to have conversations about the struggle or solving the problem, fixing the problem. I really just get excited about speaking into the expansive nature of who we are. Like that's what excites me. That's what I want to talk about. Those are the conversations I want to be having. That's what I'm talking about more and more on my social media. And I'm very aware that there will be a level of conversation that I'm having where people will be like, I need to understand this with my conscious mind. Like, can you help me get my head around something? And the more and more that I just allow the message to come through and be what it needs to be, the more I trust that the words that I speak are less about you understanding logically and consciously and being able to like make sense of things, and more about switch yourself into like receiving mode and allow the words that I speak to unravel and activate the parts of your DNA that have just been like sitting there twitching going, I wish they'd just let this message in and unlock me. This morning I was sitting on the couch and I did a little bit of journaling, but not a massive amount this morning. And as I was sitting there, I felt like I had the strongest magnet underneath me. And it felt like I was being pulled into the couch, like anchored into the couch. And like I had this channel of energy, again, very like this magnet kind of feeling, this channel of energy that was just like pouring into me to the point where my boyfriend came into the living room, said something to me, and I was like, I couldn't move. I felt like I was in like a beam. And as I sat there, I was just like, fucking hell. The only way that I could describe it was like my software was being upgraded. I felt like, you know, when you update your computer and it shuts down and then it comes back online and it takes a little while to load and then it's like, ping, are you ready? Yes, let's go. That's what my body felt like this morning. I felt like, oh, I'm receiving new codes. I'm receiving new activations. Like it felt galactic as fuck is how it felt. And I just kind of surrendered to it like, it's been a long time since I've been so in my body that I've allowed myself to receive this kind of information. And I could feel my mind wanting to understand, right, what's changing? What am I receiving? What's the message? What do I need to know? And every time my mind started to try and like unravel the knots or understand the messages or what codes are coming through, it was like, nah, you don't need to understand. You just need to trust that your body knows. Anyone else have these experiences? I would love to know. I know there's people watching. How many of you are sitting there going, huh? And how many of you are sitting there going, fuck me, this happens to me as well. Holy shit balls. And it's a really powerful experience when it happens. As I say, it hasn't happened to me like in a long time. Yes, of course. It hasn't happened to me in a long time. Like months, I would say. And yeah, this morning it just felt like, and my beautiful friend Jamie had said, I'd asked her, like, is there anything happening astrologically for me specifically on the 22nd? Because I have a call with one of my mentors this evening. It's like my first call with this new mentor, and I could feel that it was going to be big, but I wanted to know, like, is there anything astrologically lining up for me? And she was like, Galactic Queen Georgina, I know, Kelly. Hey, girl. Oh, I love you. I love having you here. Look, my little projector. I say little, my powerful as fuck projector, who reminds me of 11 from Stranger Things. So yeah, it was just this interesting experience of like being fully in that space of feeling deeply grounded, but also like, as I say, like I was receiving some kind of fucking like I'd been plugged in is what it felt like. You know, in the Matrix, in the movie where they like come out of the goo. I was like, oh fuck yeah, I've been in the goo. I've been in the fucking goo and now I'm awake is how it felt this morning. So yeah, galactic as fuck. But Jamie had actually said to me in a group chat that I have with the lovely Kelly, in fact, the three of us, our little trio of powerhouses. And I asked her, you know, like, what's going to be happening for me on the 22nd? And she said, she looked at my astrology chart and she just said, Okay, so yeah, there's lots going on in like your purpose and business and legacy and like galactic connection, so expect downloads. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I always take these things with a pinch of salt. I hear them and I don't try to then like make it happen. I'm just like, okay, cool, I have an awareness of that. Then this morning as I was sitting there like, I just thought, oh yeah, Jamie foretold that this would occur and here it is. So yeah, who knows what this is bringing. But it definitely feels, I mean, the word that keeps coming through is just like prosperity codes. It feels like some kind of, again, like words that keep coming through are like galactic, cosmic wealth, all of this kind of stuff. So don't be surprised if I launch a program called Cosmic Wealth in the next few days. But it really feels like this tattoo, when I had it, was such an initiation, right? Like the lady with the universe exploding out of her face. When I had the tattoo, it felt like this initiation into this new level of connection with divinity, with the divine feminine, with surrender, and just allowing myself to be the magic that I know that I am. And often when we do those things, when we set those powerful intentions for ourselves and we initiate those initiations for ourselves by doing something like having a tattoo or joining an offering or whatever, we can end up having this feeling like we are being compressed and like squashed and because suddenly everything around us that felt really comfortable starts to feel like it's too tight and we need to like crack it. We need to crack open. But it's okay if before that cracking open we experience a sense of compression and contraction and almost like we're being, you know, squashed. It's quite normal. It's quite normal for us to feel really compressed, compacted, trapped, like we're stuck in something and we've got to like crack it open or like claw our way out of the goo. It's perfectly natural to feel that way when you're transitioning from one like plane of consciousness to another, when you are breaking through and you are evolving into this new self. It is like, you know, the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and it liquefies into goo and then it becomes the butterfly and cracks out, right? And then it dries off its wings and it goes and it flutters off. So that is very much what it feels like when you're in this like liquefying process. And one of the things that I work with a lot with my clients, and one of the things we're really going to be deeply accessing in the business coven is trust. It's all about trust. It is all about surrendering to trust. And surrender doesn't mean giving the fuck up, right? Surrender on my hand because I need the constant fucking reminder because I'm a recovering control freak. Whereas one of my beautiful clients used to call it control enthusiast, which I love. And so surrender is less about just like giving up or going, no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to lay back and do nothing. And it's about accessing and embodying a deeper level of trust. And I want to say it's like about trusting your trust. Trusting your intuition and really cultivating a relationship with your body, with yourself, with your connection to divinity and all that is, with, you know, whether that's like a galactic connection, whether it's just a feeling of anchoring the soul into the body. These are the things that we are accessing in the business coven. This is not about what fucking sales funnel or what your branding looks like. This is about becoming so deeply embodied in who you are, what you want, what your fucking purpose is, what your mission is on this planet, and feeling so activated, alive, connected, excited by all of that, that you don't have to ask questions like, what's the next step? Or how do I do this? Or what program should I create next? Or what's my pricing? It's like all that stuff, it just flies out of the window because it's not even important anymore, because you are so tapped in to what you're on this planet to do, who you're on this planet to be, that you just keep living more into the fullness of who you are. This is what the business coven is about. Okay, so this is why I'm asking people to message me about it. before we, I'm not just putting the link out into the world for anyone to sign up. You need to message me. And there is a reason for that. There is a reason. It's because you need to feel the activation in your soul. You need to feel the activation of what it's going to be like in that space, in that like incubator for 3 months, being in this expansive, flowful, like this beautiful space where we get to just expand and live into who we are, to really unlock the fullest expression of you in the world. Turning down the noise, just blinkering off, and not closing your mind or closing your eyes to what's around you, but allowing yourself to be so tapped into who you are and what is for you that there is no compare and despair. There is no comparisonitis or, oh, I should be further along, I should be over there. It's like, no. Trusting where you are, trusting the journey, trusting your path is what this is all about. And that's what I'm really excited to work with people on, because it's been a big part of my journey over the last 18 months. And particularly over this last 6 or 7 months, I've been deepening into the trust of my authority in human design, my intuition that lives in my body, but also really becoming the embodiment of, being source embodied. Not, I was thinking today, it almost feels a little bit like, and I may find better words for this at some point, but I will leave you with this. When I was receiving this energetic imprint and upgrade, download, whatever you want to call it, this morning, it felt as though I was allowing, the words sound so sexual, I was allowing source to penetrate my being, penetrate my physical body and infuse with my DNA. And it was allowing source to be received fully and anchored into my physical body and living in relationship with it, rather than feeling like I am having to initiate and push and do and figure everything out with my mind all of the time, burning myself the fuck out. It becomes less about that and more about how much am I willing to almost be like a puppet to the divine, how much am I willing to allow the divine to guide me, allow source to guide me, allow the energetic imprint in my DNA to really move me through the world, so that I'm always bringing my full self to every interaction. I'm bringing my full self to everything. This is not about the separation of mind and body or spirit and body. This is like, how can I be more in my fullness? How can I be more of everything? And just allow yourself to be fucked open by life. I just feel like so much energy, so much pleasure, so much desire wants to continually surge its way through our body. We are here, our body and our spirit and our soul wants to be so fucking alive, and we continually shackle it with the restraints of the mind. And I'm like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the people who want to join me on this mission to be so fucking alive and juiced up by their life that running a business is just a part of the imprint that you are here to create on the world. It's just part of your legacy. It's not just your business that is your legacy. You and your energetic imprint and the ripple that you create in the world by being more of you is your legacy. And that gets to make you a fuck ton of money in the process, okay? So that is what we're doing in the Business Coven. If this speaks to your soul, get your fucking ass in there. Because this is the vibe. This is what we're doing in there. I am so fucking excited. It's one of the reasons why I'm starting it mid-July, is because I have a week off. I'm going away camping, glamping. Me camping, let's be honest. It's glamping. It's 5-star camping. This bitch ain't going to lie in a fucking tent in the woods. No, thank you very much. It's glamps vibes over here. And I'm going away and I'm purposefully allowing myself a week before starting this container of the Business Coven, because I desire to be so juiced up, refilled, refueled, and tapped into source and my beingness, so that when we enter into this container, I am just even more fucking pumped and ready to go. If this is for you, you know what to do. Jump into my inbox. Let's have a little conversation about whether this is right for you. If you've done work with me before, if you already know, if you're feeling like, fuck yes, I need in, let's go, message me right now. I will feel your energy, right? I will feel whether or not we're a match. You already know. You can feel it in your fucking soul. Get your ass into my inbox and let's go. Thank you for being here. I love you. Bye.